Germany's Manfred Weber hopes to ride Europe's right-wing wave to take the European Union's top job. He's currently the frontrunner to replace Jean-Claude Juncker as president of the European Commission during the bloc's elections next month.
We are proud that this continent has a Christian influence. We are proud of this influence, and it is not only something for museums, and that should guide us for the future. We claim this heritage.
Weber is a member of German Chancellor Angela Merkel's ruling coalition. But if he's elected, Weber has promised to block one of Merkel's key foreign policy projects, the $12 billion Nord Stream 2 pipeline. The pipeline will transport gas from western Russia's Narva Bay through the Baltic Sea directly to Germany's northern coastal city of Greifswald. NATO says it threatens to undermine the alliance's integrity, in part by starving its ally Ukraine of the fees it collects from a pipeline that passes through the country. That money accounts for more than 2% of Ukraine's GDP. But the chief critic is the US, which says Russia will use the project as a geopolitical tool that could fray Western Europe's ties with Washington.
We believe no nation should dominate the supply of natural gas to Europe as a whole or to any country. And we certainly believe that no one nation should use the domination to coerce or pressure others, as Russia has been trying to do to Ukraine.
Germany has given guarantees to ensure gas and cash keeps flowing through the Ukrainian line. Europe's largest economy also plans to build facilities in which it can store imported gas from exporters like the US.
Germany wants to secure its energy supply with various sources. Russian gas is part of this, but we do not rely only on Russian gas. And we also made clear that we will dock liquefied gas in Germany as well.
After a year of construction and billions of dollars worth of investment, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline is nearing completion. But if Germany's Weber wins in the upcoming polls, the debate will only grow louder. Paolo Montecillo, TRT World.
Well, let's get more on the story now from Brussels with Marco Giuli. He's an energy sector analyst from the European Policy Centre. Welcome to Money Talks, Marco. Firstly, let's start with this German politician's bid for the top job at the EU. He's come out strongly against the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which is in stark contrast to the German government's point of view. Do you think his views are likely to shape the project going forward?
Well, yeah, Manfred Weber has been for a long time against this pipeline. Now he's promising to take action if it's going to get the top job at the Commission for the coming political cycle. However, one has to see what will be the instruments in the hand of the Commission to actually potentially stop this pipeline. It is true that the next Commission will have some more instruments in the form of the recent amendments to the gas directive, but what can be done, it's not really to stop the pipeline. It will have more powers in a way to create some obstacle and to push the Russian side to align to the European regulatory framework, but not to actually stop the pipeline.
So give us an idea of how significant this project is. Who will it supply gas to, and how important, in your view, do you think it is in terms of supplying a reliable source of gas to the continent?
Well, Nord Stream 2 accounts for 55 BCM, so it's a doubling of the original infrastructure. Just to get an idea, Europe imports every year more or less 150 BCM of gas from Russia. This is mostly a diversionary project. The objective is to move supply currently going through Ukraine toward a different route. So the ambition from the Russian side is to circumvent the Ukrainian route. The EU is supposed to need more gas in the short to mid-term. let's say, because its domestic supply is rapidly depleting, so it will need more import before its overall demand will come down due to decarbonization policies, which means that in the short to medium term, Europe needs to find additional supplies. However, Europe is already endowed with a lot of unused import capacity, which means that this project is not necessarily needed from the technical point of view to ensure the needed additional supply for Europe.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration has been very vocal about getting EU nations to, I guess, rally against the project. Do you think the Trump administration will succeed in stopping all or any part of it?
Well, the US have been indeed very vocal. The interest to reduce the European reliance on Russian gas has been there for a long time. Now there is an additional element, which is that the United States is able to supply itself some increasing amounts of gas to foreign markets. So this controversy has now not just a strategic dimension, but also a commercial dimension. In a way, the United States would be able probably to block this pipeline if they decide to apply sanctions to that, which would reduce an incentive for the European investors to engage in this project. But the administration has signaled that probably this is too much of a dramatic step and doesn't really want to go that way.
Okay, and as we know, the Trump administration is no stranger to sanctions. Marco Giuli in Brussels, thank you so much for your analysis.